Come correct or don't come at all.
This is the Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we're talking about the hustle, strategy, and mindset you need to win in the areas of your finance, your purpose, and your future.
Know what I'm saying?
If you have heart and you want to learn how to activate the power of your hustle, then this is the podcast for you, baby.
Congratulations.
And now, your hosts, Anthony and Janilka Hartzog.
This is how it should be done.
To another episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. My name is Anthony Hartzog, Mr. Hartzog Hustle himself, and I am joined here by my wife and co-host, Mrs. Hartzog Hustle, Janilka. What's up?
Yes. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you're subscribing, commenting, sharing, leaving reviews.
Very important, leaving reviews.
Speaking of reviews, let's see. Let's get into it. Now, I don't remember if I read this one.
So we are going to go over the review of the week. As you guys know, we read one review every single week. Also to shout you guys out, but also the more reviews you leave us, the more impact that we can create. And you guys know that's our goal on this podcast, is to help 9-to-5ers create more impact, influence, and income outside their 9-to-5s. So that's what we about. That's what we teach. So
I'm going to go with RS Green too. Did I read that the last time?
Sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar, but I honestly don't remember, so I do apologize. Love this podcast. They are very authentic and relatable. My wife and I love listening to them as we keep aspiring to reach higher levels. As they have. Keep up the great work and consistency. Best the green. I definitely read this, the Greens, but I guess you got shouted out twice. It is
so
what
shout
it
out
is
to
at
the
this point.
Greens again. Listen, please leave us a review.
No, I was going to say, if more of you leave a review, a comment, I don't have to read the same thing. So that's all shade to you. I'm talking to you, because you listen to our podcast week after week, and you still have not left a review.
So we got 40.
So please go ahead and write it.
We have 40 plus episodes, and 121 reviews. There's no way you're reading the same review twice, ever, for 3 years. Yeah.
You telling me?
Yeah.
You're saying if people leave the review?
No, if you go, we have 121 reviews.
Well, they count it. Listen.
Okay. Comments.
Yes.
Comments
are different from stars. They count all of them. But what you write is, we don't have 121 written reviews. That's what.
Oh, yeah. So they being lazy. I got you.
Yes. They are leaving the 5. We appreciate that, but we also need you to write a review. We'll shout you out, and it goes a long way so that people that find our podcast, they can read and say, hey, what is it about? Check the reviews out. And that's what I'm saying. And
also want to shout out YouTube. You guys have been growing our subscriber base, but also leaving valuable comments.
Mm-hmm. So we can comment back.
So we could create the conversation, we create the dialogue, and we could just, go back and forth on what's happening. So shout out to you guys, and appreciate you guys tuning in every single week on the podcast.
Yes. So before we jump into our topic, we have a few pre-topics before we do that. So we wanted to, right now, there's a hot topic of a mother, just a quick overview. The mother gave her son eviction papers on his 18th birthday.
Sounds nuts. 18th birthday. But we haven't watched it.
Let's see.
I just seen it going on. We're going to watch it right now.
Wait. Oh, what's it? Let's see. Okay.
Oh, it took me 30 seconds, bro. You know, when your kid turns 18 and you give them a 30-day notice.
So it's literally his 18th birthday, and we're watching this video from Rap House TV. I'm sure it's going to be on Shade Room. It's trending on social media right now. Lease termination notice, and it's his 18th birthday, and he's scrolling through this paperwork. He's like, how long did it take you to make this?
You can you can type a eviction notice in a minute or 2.
He is shaking his head.
They're
playing 21 Savage over the video. Hopefully YouTube doesn't take the video down for that.
Oh, yeah. But it looks like she gave it to him in the gift bag at that. So all shade to that. First of all, at 18, you're 2 years old. Let's be clear. And then Tony asked me what did you say? How long ago were you 18?
Huh?
You asked me how long ago were you 18?
What do you mean?
Remember when I said at 18 you're 2 years old, and you're like, well, how long were you 18 for, or something like that?
Oh, yeah, so the 18 was so long ago, and you were so young at that age.
It doesn't make sense. He's not going anywhere. That's what I'm saying. Unless he's going off to college or something like that. I don't know that giving your son or child at all an eviction notice is necessary. Maybe she feels like, I don't know the logistics. Maybe she feels like he's lazy, and this will light a fire under him to go to school or to get a job or something.
And
but
and I went through the comments, and some people said this could be a joke. Listen, there's certain jokes that you post online and certain jokes that you don't post.
Right.
And certain things may have the chance to go viral. So if that's the case, you may want to be careful with what you post. And a lot of the conversation came up around, so there's obviously going to be two different spectrums. One person is going to say, well, you're too young. Oh. And what I'm also reading, especially in the black community, is that, listen, you got to pull yourself up. Like, I went through this, and that's how you pass down generational curses. Trauma.
I don't know why people like to struggle. Like, why do people feel like if I don't struggle, you got to feel the same struggle? I don't got to. Everybody's struggling. I don't want to struggle. I don't want nobody struggling. All of our parents wanted more for us than what they had for themselves. Like, so why wouldn't that be the same mindset? I mean, I know that, I think about Steve Harvey when he was on EYL. He was speaking about that with his kids.
Yeah.
He's like, what I went through and what they going through is two different ball games. Like, it's just different. He's like, I have all this money. It's just different. So why would I want them to struggle the same way? I would never understand it with our community.
And then, I felt we used to have jokes about this, especially before we had Alani. It's like, oh, well, we want her to get a job when she's young and all of that.
I never said that.
I said that.
I ain't get a job when I was young.
I said that because I did it. And I realized that the more I learned about myself and what I want for her, is I don't want the same thing for her. I don't want her to be having to pack bags at Key Food at the age of 12 just to teach her hard work. There are different ways that we could teach her hard work around here, and that's the goal. So all we're doing when we're kicking our kids out at 18, especially in the black community, just passing down, we're literally messing up our family tree at that point.
Listen, a lot of other cultures, you stay in the house until you get married. Now, I'm not saying that somebody has to do that. You do what's right for you. But I just don't know what's the obsession with 18, first of all.
Talking past the mic.
Oh. So I'll try to stay here. I don't know what the obsession of 18 is, first of all, with our government or whatever. But 18, you're a baby still, a baby. Even if you went through struggles at that age, you shouldn't have probably. It's not fair, understandable, but you're still a baby at 18.
Agreed.
I don't care what anybody says. You ain't an adult.
Agreed. Obviously.
And I've been 18 before.
quite a long time ago.
Someone that's been 18.
Quite a long time ago. But obviously we both disagree with that. And I want better for our people, especially because I felt like I left my house too early. Even when I came back from college, if I could have saved up for a year or 2 years and had enough for a down payment on something nice or decent or livable, versus me like, yo, I gotta go, I gotta get out of here. And that's the mentality we have, especially in the black community at such a young age. Like, yo, we gotta be out by 18, we gotta be on our own, whether it's college. Even at 21, we come back from college, like, we still don't know how nothing to figure out. You're still a baby.
You still even got a job.
At 21, you're still learning life. So obviously we disagree with it, but people are gonna live how they live. We just want to give you our perspective and also hopefully give you another perspective to think about.
Yes. Speaking of perspectives, which doesn't have anything to do with anything, but we were getting an update on how my leave has been, which I think this is week 6 at this point, 6 out of 13. I am almost halfway there, and it's unbelievable because you're like, how is your leave going? I'm like, listen, I expected that I would be able to, if you don't know, I'm obsessed with SVU. I expected that I'll be able to binge SVU at least once a week. At least some type of, maybe twice a week if I wanted to, meaning sit on the couch or lay in my bed and watch the show. I have not done that, and we are closing on week 6. So how my leave is going, good, but not what I expected is what I should say. We've just been busy. Between us traveling 4 times in 1 month, which is when my leave started in August, and we traveled 4 different times during that month. So that, the month flew by. And now we're just catching up. We have appointments. We have podcast recordings. We have content creation. We have photo shoots. It just doesn't end.
So if you guys didn't know, Janoka is on leave from her job for 3 months. Well, it was 3 months. Now she has about a month and a half to go.
A month and a half? Yeah.
Yeah, about a month and a half to go.
Jesus
so
Christ.
She's updating you on that. So her personal side, yes, it sucked. But the business side is booming. Let me tell you why the business side is booming.
But it's not all about the business.
I'm going to tell you, you take leave for personal. You've been traveling.
It's called personal leave.
You've been to Cancun. You've been to St. Lucia. You've been to Charlotte. You've been to New York multiple times. I'm going to count New York twice. And there's something else I'm missing.
No, that's it.
And then before you go back, you're going to Paris, Spain. There's some other places you're going to. Yeah. So your personal side is booming too. I'm not.
Yes.
And hold on. Your personal side is booming too. The problem is you, instead of sitting your ass down on the couch and watching SVU, you know what you said you wanted to do?
Go to the gym.
You wanted to travel the damn world. You said, I'm going to take 3 months off. I'm going to travel the damn world. And now look at you traveling the world. So that's your personal side.
That is part of my personal side.
You can't say your personal side is not booming because you chose what you want to do with your personal time. If we're gonna put it in that perspective, which I've done, we're putting it in that perspective. Your personal time was you choosing to get up and travel. St. Lucia was you. Paris, Spain is you. New York, one time was you. One time was me. Combination of both. Charlotte was both of us. Listen, but you got up and you chose to travel. So instead of traveling, cancel some plans and sit your ass on the couch.
SVU. So this week is a slower week.
This is a kid's show, so I gotta watch my language. Is it? I don't know if kids watch this show.
I don't know what kid is watching. I mean, but whatever. This week is a slower week because we're finally done with traveling, at least for 5 weeks. I know that's not even long, but it feels long right now. Things are a bit slower, but the days are just flying by. It's just really going by. But I guess you think when you're on leave or before you go on leave, you think to yourself, what am I going to do with my day? Not in this Hartzog household. It's not what I'm going to do with my day. It's kind of like, when am I going to be able to nap in the middle of the day is what I'm looking forward to. That's what I want part of the leave. I'm not getting it.
We tried
it's not checking the box.
I'm going to give you guys some insight. We tried to nap today at 5 o'clock.
Oh, please.
And we weren't able to nap. We realized we had a call coming up. We had a consultation. We had the family call.
We had so much happening.
So in the Hartzog hustle household, there is no napping. So, but
on top of that, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone because tonight is the first night that Alani is. Well, she slept out of our room before because we had a doula, but now at an older age, she's going to be sleeping in her room constantly in her nursery, reoccurring back to back. So this is the first night, so I'm just looking at the camera to make sure all is well before our nanny heads out. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I had to see her too.
You want to see her?
No, I can see her.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something that's new in our lives too. So Alani just turned 6 months, and we celebrated that in the fashionable way that we know
first
how.
Class.
We had Alani in first class, which we spoke about on the last episode. So you guys didn't know, check that out. The last episode we spoke about celebrating her 6 month. So now we're transitioning her to her next stage, out the baby stage into the.
She's still a baby, not out the baby stage, out the room. That's
it. Yeah, that's a stage. That's a huge stage.
I guess.
So we'll see how it goes. We're gonna let her cry out for a little bit, but this also impacts our personal life because now we're not in the room with her, so we can't get up and just roll over and put a pacifier in her mouth. Now someone has to physically get up and leave the room. So expect us to have a lot more arguments in the household.
We've always had turns.
We always had turns, but now
Tony tends to forget when it's his.
But now, yeah, I definitely forgot.
How's it my turn again? Because last night, exactly.
So this impacts our marriage now because it might be a few more arguments. You might see a little bit more dark eyes because now we are leaving our room to go to another room.
But also, it's good in that I can put my TV back on, okay? Because I love a TV before I go to bed. You don't really care. You just like knock out. But I like to watch TV before I fall asleep, and I have not been doing that. I mean, I think when she was first younger, I was still doing it. But for a while, I have not been doing that. So that gives us back a bit more independence as well, back into our marriage and life. So multiple changes.
And this also gives a little bit more bow, chicka, wow, wow.
At least it is a kid's show.
I just said bow, chicka, wow, wow.
That's true too.
When you don't have kids in the room, there's less things you got to worry about, including noise and ruffles and stuff. So, but we are talking about, so speaking of kids and marriage, one of the topics we were discussing or have been in discussion about is just, does marriage make you a better entrepreneur because you treat your marriage like a business?
Now, when you say it like that, you have those people that is like, marriage is a business, just a damn piece of paper. And then you have people that feel like on the religious side of it and just on a more romantic side of it. And, so there's different sides of it. But technically, it's just a paper. Absolutely. Us graduating from college, it's just a paper. There's a lot of just papers in life, right? But it still holds a lot of meaning. So is it a business to the state or to the laws and taxes and stuff? I say yes. You get some breaks because of it. You file together, you file separate. You know, there's different things because you are married. Society may look at you differently because you're married. And so I would say, yes, it is a business, but there's more to it than just being a business.
And a lot of, we were in Cancun. We didn't even speak about Cancun.
Our life is it's just a lot happening.
We were in
our
Cancun
life.
and we had a lot of couples out there.
Yeah,
and
it was fun.
A lot of married couples and you get to see different perspectives. And I'm not going to go into people's lives, but it was good to see how different people operate their households. And I think for us, I don't want to say it's black and white because things aren't black and white, but there's a lot of things we don't focus on because.
Well, this could be a different topic from this. I think. Maybe sometimes we can swing it. You never know. You may pivot right on the spot. I think that things can be different, and this is not specific to any of the couples there, but
just in case they're listening.
Yeah, it's really not. But what I've learned over time is that you have to like each other. And some people may be like, duh, like if I'm marrying a person, I like them. No, I don't think so. Like, I think you have to like each other, and then that kind of establishes everything else with your communication and stuff like that. One, we've known each other for
20 plus years
of our life. We haven't been together for that long, but we've known each other for that long. So our friendship was rock solid before even having a relationship as an adult. So that may be one thing. So liking each other, having a friendship, and then I think communication on both of our parts. We're very communicative and also able to not negotiate, but compromise.
Yeah.
A lot. And like, even though I grew up in a single household, my mother always said, like, don't go to bed mad at each other, which in my household is for me and my mother. Like, don't go to bed mad, discuss it, and then keep it moving. So
why she put you on punishment?
Why you on punishment? But you got to explain. Exactly. So you get an understanding as a kid. But that's something that we practice as... You checking yourself out in the mirror?
No.
That's something that we practice as well if there's something wrong, addressing it, but also not addressing it in the public forum as well.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that you see amongst couples, housewives show, all of the shebang. That business owners that it's like, I could show I'm upset in front of people. Okay, fine. But I'm not going to get into maybe the nitty gritty, but I'm still going to make sure I discuss it with you.
And you mentioned a lot of things on the personal side that also transitions and translates over to the business side of entrepreneurship.
That's very true. And
so when you treat your marriage like...
that episode.
What?
Because we did an episode because people always ask us, how do we run all of our businesses together? Yeah. We did an episode on that. We'll link that below. But I think that was focusing just like how we do it. This is a bit more broader of like what we see.
Yeah. So you mentioned a few things that could translate over to the business. So you said we like each other. I don't think you should go into business with someone that you don't like.
I agree 100%.
So now your marriage and your businesses are ran with someone that you like as a person.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So I think that is a major key to start anything. I feel like I have to like you as a person. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Andre Hatchett. I love that guy. I've only known him for a couple years, but I know I could do business with him because I like him as a person. And if I like you, I'm not saying I'm gonna marry him, but we could probably get married too because I like him. I like him as a person.
What the hell? And I don't do business with friends, so I ain't.
You don't do business with friends, but I don't. I mean, I like you as a person, so in that way, shape, and form, I think it's easier for me to come to you as a human to discuss our issues in business.
Yeah.
So that's the first note. Like you mentioned, liking the person in general in your marriage and your business. So when you treat your marriage like a business, it's going to overlap. You also mentioned communication. If I like you, it is probably going to be easier to communicate with you in your business.
Right.
Because I'm going to like, listen, we friends, we have a
understanding, or
we have a base. We have a solid base. We didn't just meet each other today and we're in business today. No, we have a solid base. You know me as a person. You like me. You know, like, and trust me. So now I could come to you and communicate with you probably a little bit more freely than I would with someone that I didn't know, I didn't like, and I didn't trust them.
Right.
So that's another major key when you have a business. So when you're treating your marriage like a business, those are definitely some. So
liking them, communication. I don't remember what else I had said. like friendship, but that kind of ties into liking the person.
Yeah.
I would say.
And then even when I think about like hiring employees, I feel like I need to like you as a person, as an employee.
Absolutely.
Personally. I feel like you need to like your boss. If you do not,
That's
and
true.
I interviewed people too, and I interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people in my 9 to 5, and I told them there's a reason why I interview you and I have you interview with the managers, because I'm your director. You're not going to communicate with me every day or even every week. I'm there with you. I'm in the office. We're gonna know. We're gonna hi bye. We're gonna go out for drinks, but you don't have to like me.
Yeah.
But I say you need to meet with your direct managers and the managers that they work with, because you need to like them, or at least the direct manager. Because if you don't, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
And if I don't like you as an employee, I'm probably gonna find something that I'm gonna get you fired for.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. So treating your marriage like a business, I think, would help a few people. But then you got to think about it is, if you don't know how to run a business, then maybe it's going to be hard for you to translate that into your marriage too.
Well, I don't think you need to know how to run a business. I think you need to know how to run a household. And if you know how to run a household efficiently, I feel like you could run a business.
Oh, that brings up another topic we had before.
Well, you got a bunch of topics we had before.
This is a topic we talked about years ago. Of
So,
like, how do you know? Like, who teaches you to become a wife type of vibe? Like, who teaches you to become a husband, or who teaches you to become a mother? You said run a household. I just thought about that.
I'm going to tell you. So we always talk about these shows. No. So you said that you have to know how to run. You need to have to know how to run a business in order to run your marriage, or like vice versa.
Right.
So remember on one of the shows we were watching, they lost their nanny and her household went to shambles and her business went to shambles.
Yes. Married to Medicine.
So
Anila.
I felt like if she had her business in check, and her nanny left her household wouldn't have functioned like that, because if she would have been more
she would
hands
just
on,
have to focus on the household then. since the nanny
exactly.
left.
Because if you focus on the household, and if you ran the household like a business, then the business itself that you're operating should run efficiently just the same way.
What I think makes it a little difficult though was that she is an influencer.
I don't want to get into that.
She runs it, but she runs the business in the house.
We run our businesses in the house too. So you need, for example, you got like,
that's true. You need process. She need process.
So if you have process and procedure in your household, it's going to carry over into your business automatically.
That's true.
Because if you you mentioned like influencer, you got products showing up at the front door as soon as you walk in.
Right.
That's not efficient.
Yeah.
Your husband walks in, can't open the door because you got product showing up.
Yeah.
You need to have a storage room. If you were influencing the way you want to get to influencing, products we would have a storage room somewhere.
Yeah. Or it's going in the room. Even if you're not opening it right now, just put it in the room.
Yeah, maybe the closet or something. All products go into the closet until you're ready to use it or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, that's why I say it's very important. The way you run your household is going to be the way you run a business. So that was.
So for those people that maybe have never ran a business and they're a couple listening to us, you should tell them, like, if you can't function as a couple, you probably can't function in a business.
Oh, definitely not.
I agree 100% as well.
Does not.
I agree as well. Like, don't start something new, or don't, you know how they say don't start something until your home is clean type of thing? That type of vibe. And so that's what in relation to a marriage, that's what we mean. Mm-hmm. Right?
You start a new project and your desk is a mess. It's like, I say that all the time. I can't do nothing. You may come in here and see me just cleaning up this
you like it's a mess.
Studio.
I can't function. I'm like,
you like it's not that bad. It's not, but I can't function
people
if
say that
cords all over the place and there's shirts on the floor
scattered.
I can't come in. So now every time we record, I gotta make sure that the room is neat so that I know where things are in front of us. We got lights here, we got the camera here.
Yeah, you guys can't really see.
We got the mics here. Obviously, you can see we got the roadcaster player here. So we can see I can come in here and know where everything is, and I know the lights are where they're supposed to be because everything is clean. So that's how I run our business, but also we run the household the same way. I'm like, I need to have the laundry done. I'm going to do laundry so that the closet is clean so that I could know how to function in my business. So I know every day
what I'm wearing when I'm doing the content.
Every day I wake up and I know exactly what I'm wearing. So
everything okay?
Yeah, that was Alma just texting.
Okay.
And then he's leaving for the night.
And she asked, can we see her?
Yeah, she was asking, can we see her?
Yes, let her know.
Okay.
Yep. This is real life, child. This is why we say, like, it's just a busy life and kind of trying to manage it all. You tell yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. And just trying to manage it all. But we came here saying we was talking about one thing. Oh, Treating marriage like a business. Okay, we had some notes. That's why I'm looking down. What else is there that we kind of jotted down? So there was this article that we read, and it was speaking about, they call it dual career couples. I call it both people working. Okay. Dual career couples are both people working, essentially. And just speaking about how it's on the rise, I guess, because I don't know why it's on the rise, because I feel like growing up, that's what it always was. But maybe I think it's in relation to sometimes mothers being stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
So it's on the rise with both people working, and what that looks like when you're both kind of embedded into your business, into your careers, and how it becomes a clash for some people. So what they're saying is like, you're both highly educated, work full time, demanding professional, and you're like maybe both managers. So I'm thinking like lawyer and doctor. Let's do the extreme of it, right? And it shows that when that happens, that these people reap the benefits, increased economic freedom, more satisfying relationship, and they have a lower than average chance of divorce, right? But go ahead.
I'm gonna start right there. So they have a lower than average chance of a divorce. So Dr. Lawyer.
Probably because money is the biggest thing that make people divorce.
All right, continue. That's it.
Oh, that's what you're supposed to say?
Yeah, that was it. Money is the number one leading cause of divorce.
Yeah.
And if you have two people who are highly successful or at least strong-willed in their careers, that means they're motivated, educated, and they're pushing their goals. They're going to make more money overall and
happiness.
And increase
You
happiness.
know, people say, what's the thing that people say, that money doesn't buy happiness? So
money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy you freedom. It does buy you options, and options and freedom both buy you happy. Buy you happy.
It don't buy you happy. It
buy you happy.
You're a damn fool. And so those are the things those are like the positive things of those people. So some of you listening may see that, okay. You're good? Okay. Some of you listening, no, leave her where she was. Some of you listening, don't mess up a volume on here. Oh, what are we doing here? Some of you listening may say, this may be for you, that you're both what they call dual career couples. Both people working in the house, as I said. But the challenges that these people face is, they say, whose job are they going to relocate for? I don't know if you guys watch This Is Us, right? In the show, Kate, one of the characters, her husband moved to San Francisco because he got a job opportunity. She stayed back in, let's say, LA to take care of the kids. And then at some point he wanted her to move, but she also had a job opportunity as well. And they eventually divorced, basically. So that is a prime example of a challenge that or both people, if we're both like demanding in our jobs, that's something that they face. Whose job is going to relocate? Other thing is when it's okay. You have something?
So I was going to mention, I love how we talk about shows that we watch too. It makes us seem relatable. We're talking about business, we're talking about entrepreneurship, but also about TV shows that we watch. And
This Is Us is over. It's such a good show if you haven't.
It was a really good show. But it also shows that the type of shows we watch too. We give you the ratchet and the righteous. So
What's ratchet?
Or every show you watch is ratchet. And This Is Us was righteous. So yeah, so when they had to relocate, both high earners, they had to decide whose career were they to focus on. Because you can't focus on both.
Because it feels like whose career is more worthy.
More important, yeah.
More important.
Now, is your worth based off of money, fulfillment, time freedom, location freedom? What is your
Most people would, and it's hard to say, because one could say that was kind of our dynamic, but not necessarily. Right? Because we both, I wasn't a manager at that time either, and I had job flexibility to move. But we moved for your job.
That is a good point. We did move for my job.
So we were a dual career couple before you left. Because you were a director, I'm a manager.
Yeah.
Demanding, I wouldn't say either of our jobs were demanding, but there's times that we have to do certain things. So you got your hand up? I thought you want to say something.
So I would say our move was a business decision. Our move was a business decision. So we knew that I would make more money at my job, and we would make more money as a household. You were able to take your job with you to Dallas. So we wouldn't lose that.
Right.
I also stated to you, we literally had a business conversation. We went to dinner, And I had a conversation with
Ruth Chris.
we went to dinner. I had a conversation with my bro who moved to Germany. And he was like, listen, you are going about this the wrong way. You are giving her all the reasons to move. You are giving her the why, but not the outcome of the move. So the outcome of the move, why should we move? Oh, we should move to Dallas. We could do this. We could do that. No.
Say income tax.
Yeah. The why, like all the
Check
marks, the business check marks. But he's like, if you're going to speak to someone about a business move, you have to give them the outcome of the move. So the outcome of the move,
this can happen.
yeah, if you move, we have dual incomes. We keep my salary. We get a raise in my salary by what? 30, 40,000.
You get a raise on my salary because I changed my address and the no state income tax raise.
When my salary moved to 100K, we were able to add your 100 something K. We were able to add your salary plus the no state income tax.
Yep.
We also mentioned the outcome would be, all right, you could, if we get down there, you get an apartment, you get more, not just an apartment, you get more space. You get
Open concept.
You wanted the dog.
And
we
the
said
dog.
we
Two
could
things
choose
I
whatever
asked.
dog. And I'm giving you the lifestyle of the decisions that we were going to make as a marriage, yes, and marriage obviously, but it was more of a business decision.
So that's a good way.
So we approached it that way.
Yeah, and so that's a good suggestion for people for any conversation you have, right? Let people see the outcome. Right? It's not just like you have a cleaning business. The outcome is you have the freedom now that you can travel wherever you want. You don't got to be have to be behind the desk all the time. There's the outcome, not really owning the cleaning business.
So speaking about, if you guys didn't know, we own a 7-figure cleaning business. Commercial break. We own a 7-figure cleaning business. We are teaching you how to start, scale, and grow a 6 to 7-figure cleaning business without cleaning any houses. How? We tell you how to find contractors. We tell you how to find clients. And we tell you how to match them and take a percentage of that business. If you want to learn more about how we grow a 7-figure cleaning business, run our cleaning business from absolutely anywhere. We just ran it from St. Lucia for a week. We made $13,000. We just ran it from Mexico. We made $12,000, and it was completely remote, hands off. Join our next masterclass. Cleaningbusinesshacks.com, cleaningbusinesshacks.com. Link will be in the show notes or the comment section or wherever you're watching this. Link will be somewhere. So cleaningbusinesshacks.com.
Great commercial break. Love it.
Yes.
But now I forgot what you were saying, Chow.
The outcome.
Yes, the outcome. So that may be a way that you guys have discussions with people that you notice maybe they're not getting it, or you want to try to tell your partner you want to start a cleaning business, they're not understanding it. Something he had to do. We speak about that. So speaking about the outcome would be helpful. So what was this saying? So the challenges that people face is whose job to relocate for, when is it okay for one partner to make a risky career change, i.e. you, right? When is it okay? That's a challenge. When is it okay for you to decide to retire? I mean, it wasn't a career change, it was retirement.
But let's think about if we both had similar incomes, and let's say you had to go to an office. Would the career move still, if you lost your job, we probably would have said, are you able to get another job in Dallas, Texas with a licensed mental health counselor?
Yes.
Yes, you could get a job anywhere. I could get a job anywhere in tech. So,
but it's usually not the way you think about it, in the moment at least.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking about getting another.
Because doctors can freaking...
If you had to...
They have to get their license or whatever.
If you were getting a career raise and you had to move to Dallas, Texas, or whatever it may be, would I have known about the same way? That, all right, I could just get another tech job? Probably not, because I've been in my company for 9 years. Well, it wasn't 9 then. It was what?
Right. So that's what they speak about when you're both.
It was only 3 years then.
Yeah, it was. No. Yeah, it was.
It was only 3 years. It wasn't even that long. But I worked up fast, though. 3 years I became a manager, and we were already making that move in Dallas.
Yeah. But that's what they speak about when you're both head honcho. You're both alphas. There we go. That's a good word.
That's the social media where I don't like that word.
Alphas?
Yeah, that's that. They use those type of words on like Twitter. Like they call you Chad.
What does that mean?
Don't even worry about it. No. Just like Chad is like the muscular, works out, makes 6 figures at his job, and says the word bro. He's in tech.
He has to be in tech with the 6 figures.
Yeah, it's kind of like
kidding,
that.
I'm
but
kidding.
Alpha, yes. Okay.
But what was it? Yeah, so that's what they're talking about. Like, so how do you decide? So these are the challenges. We spoke about like the good that happens with people in these dual career couples, but the challenges you face is whose job to relocate for, when it's okay for a partner to make a risky career change, or something as small as like, so who leaves early to pick up the sick child from school? Okay. because we're both working, we're both busy, we're both demanding job. So who's to say that, okay, I gotta leave or you gotta leave? How does that work? I mean, I don't think it's something we'll face. Not ever. I mean, unless you go back to work, but it's not something that we'll face. But it's just something that they're saying that couples in this type of household, this is something that they face.
I would say the husband leaves or the male leaves.
Why would you say that?
I'm going to tell you why I say that. So you get this stigma that you got to pick up a sick child.
You being the woman?
You being a woman.
Well, you got to do everything for the child. Is the stigma.
Exactly. So I wouldn't want you to get that. Oh, she got to leave again and pick up the kid because the kid's sick. And now people don't want to give you career advancements because there's always something with the kid. Yeah. A guy does it. It's like, all right, well.
Well, in this article, they spoke about like when they interview people and they ask them, do you have anything? And I remember my boss actually asked
them, do you have any? We do that too.
Do you have anything family related or that would conflict with work or something like that? Which is their way of kind of, I don't know if they're being, what's the word? Because people get sued for that. But like finding out your dynamics of kids. I'm saying like.
Yeah, do you have any kids?
Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for though?
What do you mean?
Like if a job, not racist towards you, but they bias towards you because they know you have a kid or something like that. So it's kind of a way of
it happens if you believe it or not. I'm telling you.
It happens of them kind of figuring out. But I think about it, like I remember my manager had mentioned that to me when she interviewed me, and that was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago now. She's like, yeah, because the last person, she had something with her kids or something like that. Oh, her kid is alive? What do you mean she had something with her kid? Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what happened. Things happen with your kids. So, but yeah, they do ask that question. Oh, what was that? I thought I heard something. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hopefully the computer's still with us.
Oh, that's a computer. Okay. Oh God.
But yeah,
that's a good point. So I wouldn't put that burden on the wife.
You're woman. Trying to beat the stigma because you're saying most.
Yeah, because once you put it out there once, if I know that, all right, well, she might have to leave early for a kid. Well, we might not give her the promotion because she might have to leave early for a kid.
Not even
the
fair.
Guy, more than likely, it just happens because once in a while, my wife wasn't available, so I went. Like, all right, cool. It's not gonna happen often. So that would be one of the things that I would say that you focus on. Who has more flexibility? And if you are a woman, I would definitely be mindful of that because especially in the manager role, you think about stuff like that. Even if you don't have a direct bias for it, it's always in the back of your mind. It's always in the back of your mind that this person has to do something for their kids.
Well, probably, I mean, think about it. My manager kept saying that I wasn't going to come back.
Yeah.
After my 3-month leave, I did go back.
Oh, yeah, it's 3 months right now.
Yeah, no. When I first went on leave, when I was maternity leave, my manager swore I wasn't coming back. And I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Why are you assuming that I'm not coming back? And I did come back. I mean, I went on leave after, but I did come back.
No, when you went on leave, they probably said in the back of their mind, like, I told you so.
It's personal leave, yeah.
I told you so.
Absolutely.
There's no reason I'm asking you if you're coming back and then you come back and then you ask for personal leave for 3 months.
What are you like about?
Then you know what that means after that. We spoke about this. They already planning your replacement, which is fine. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, we
so
know that too.
So I would say definitely be mindful of those decisions when it comes to the family and going back to the business side of it, where you got to play to your strengths in business, in the family, and business in the business. So if I have more flexibility in the family business, which is my career, my family, or our business, and I have more flexibility where, let's say you do customer service and I do tech and you're doing customer service most of the day, I probably have more flexibility to run out and get the kids.
Yeah.
So think about
taking like not making it because you're a woman, you got to do this.
Yeah.
Or whatever your role
playing
is
to the strengths that you were given in each role. So each role in your career and each role in your business. I had more flexibility because I had unlimited PTO. I was a director, so I'd probably do those things. I think I did do a few of those things.
What?
Like just running errands during the day and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you did have the word flexibility. You do. I mean, you cook more here too.
Yeah. So
you both said so.
Having you playing to your strengths in both the business and the relationship.
Let me see. I wrote some other things, but I don't think there's anything else I want to mention. Anything else you want to mention? From what I wrote is what I'm saying.
So I think this last part is really good. So
okay.
Reinventing yourself.
So in the article that speaks about this dual, I keep having to look down, career couple, they speak about 3 transitions that couples go throughout life, basically, and even within working as well. So they speak about working as a couple. So it's just like when you're first figuring out like a major life event. So maybe a baby, a new job, whatever. So these things usually happening at the beginning of a relationship.
So yeah, our first transition was moving to Dallas.
Exactly. And
moving
that
to Dallas
was a month after we got married.
And paying off debt.
Yeah.
So that first transition it sets a precedence for the rest of the transitions and the rest of what's going to happen in your business. So this is why I say your marriage is like a business, because your first transition, even in our cleaning business, our first transition, I would say was when there's a few different
VAs, maybe?
When we started hiring VAs, and now that transition is like, all right, that's normal for us.
Right.
So you're able to face those transitions head on to figure out what's the next step in your business as well as your marriage or your career. So working as a couple during that is very important. And how would you say you work? And we already said how we work at that as a couple. Yeah. You think about the outcome that is going to bring you versus stating the facts.
Right. And I don't know if we have similar mindsets, because a lot of times your mind just runs. But a lot of times,
is that a good or a bad thing? Whoa, my mind just runs. You make it sound like a bad thing. You make it sound like a hamster on a wheel in here, and it's just
you are a hamster on the wheel. You're definitely a hamster on the wheel. It's not a bad thing. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. But sometimes it's hard for you to turn it off. So that may seem.
Does a hamster ever get off the wheel to drink water and eat? That's
and
me.
Sleep, no?
And
Don't
sleep,
they sleep?
and then get back on the wheel. That's me.
They're still on the wheel. That's what they do all day. So one transition is working as a couple through like that, whatever major life event there is. The other transition is reinventing themselves, which is really a midlife crisis, essentially. They speak about it happens in your middle years. And many people feel a pressing need for breaking free of expectations, and they want to write their own story. Entrepreneurship.
I hit my midlife crisis. I said the average black man lives to about 70, 75. I am 35, now 36 years old. I hit my midlife crisis.
Well, in the next point, they speak that people are living longer. But anyway, before we get to it, I'm just saying, they say like midlife crisis happens, and that's a different dynamic in your relationship, because you're like, the midlife crisis for another reality show, Married to Medicine, the doctor that's working in the ER, Dr. Eugene. And he's like, I've been working there, and he's burnt out because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so now he's trying to figure out, what can I do next? Right? He's trying to figure out what's going to do next. So that's a transition that many people go through, because his wife is like, I'm not a doctor. It's a whole different ball game if you change your career, right? I mean, he said he may stay in that same field, but I'm used to maybe a certain lifestyle. I'm used to a certain freedom. I'm used to all these things. And if that changes, that is a big deal for the couple. So.
Yeah, that is a big deal. And his whole dynamic as a doctor, like you said. But I think the biggest part of that is now you put a strain on the family.
Yeah.
Your stress now becomes a family stress, because you as a wife are now thinking about, all right, my husband doesn't want to do his job, but his job is tied to our lifestyle. My 9 to 5 is tied to my lifestyle. This is why we say you have to have something outside of work.
You are preaching this episode.
You have to have something outside of work. I don't care how much money you make at your job. You can make $100,000. You can make $1 million. No, I'm going to $1 million.
No one listens to making $1 million at work. And if you are, tap into the comments, because I don't believe you.
You can make $100,000.
$1 million.
You can make $100,000. You can make $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. If you are tied to that income and only that income, you are at risk. And you are not only at risk financially, you are at risk emotionally. Stability in your lifestyle is now going to decrease, because just like the doctor said, he said, I can't leave my job because we have this house. My wife has a lifestyle. My kids have a lifestyle. And he only has his job.
Yeah, she doesn't
But
work.
the other doctor was like,
stay-at-home mom.
The other doctor is chilling, because he left the job and he built his own facilities.
He was like, I haven't worked a weekend in 6 years.
As a doctor, you have to work weekends.
Yeah,
That's like
you're
your
on
thing.
call.
You're on call.
My OBGYN wasn't on call, and I had a different doctor for delivery. Like,
Exactly.
You're on call.
So you have to have something outside of your 9 to 5. I don't care what your 9 to 5 is, whether it's the president of the Microsoft. Not gonna say Microsoft.
I'm like, you can't have a side hustle. I need to focus.
Our last president had some side hustles, and he has some issues that he's dealing with
Some side hustles.
That he's dealing with right now.
Not
Side
Trump
hustles.
having a side
Imagine
hustle.
being a president. You have side hustles, which he did, and that is funding your.
That's just dirt.
Neither
That's
here
what
nor
you
there.
mean.
Neither here nor there. But you have to have something outside your 9 to 5 so that you can have emotional stability, financial stability, and just overall better lifestyle. This goes back to the second point. Now they feel pressed to break free from expectations of what's happening in their own story.
And they want to rewrite their own story. Yeah.
I'm writing my story. I can't write my story if I got a wife. I cannot write my story if I have a wife, because I can't just go and just do that.
Yeah.
It's a business decision.
It's something that impacts everyone.
It's a business decision. So you have to have those income streams outside your 9 to 5 so that when that time comes, if it does come, when you feel like you got to reinvent yourself, you can always fall back on whatever else is happening as you make that decision.
Right. And then the third transition they say is loss and opportunity. And so what that means is shifting roles later in life, it creates a sense of loss. So like sometimes you feel like your career has plateaued, or people feel like their bodies aren't the same and they become empty nesters. So they're losing things and stuff like that. So you also think, who am I now? What do I do with the rest of my life? All that type of stuff is what people kind of think about. But they said like loss sometimes triggers room for opportunity. So you have the midlife crisis. Maybe you do something with it. Maybe you don't. But now in this stage, you're like, okay, now that my children are out, we will travel more now, or it leaves room for us to work wherever we want to work now because we don't have to work as hard, or all these things like that. It says it happens for opportunity. And then especially in today's world, like, because you can do anything at this point. I mean, there's literally, you can do anything in this point in your life. And life expectancy is raising. So people are living longer. And so people, if you're retiring at 60 and you're living until 85, you're trying to figure out what the hell's, what you're doing with the rest of your life.
So think about this. If the life expectancy for a black man was 60, 65, let's say 70, 75, right? 70, 75. And you retire at 65, you got 5 to 10 years to enjoy your life. Now we're saying, all right, you got 10 plus years, 20 plus years. So now you got to need 20 plus years of income. When you have 5 years of income in your 401k, your Roth, whatever it may be,
different.
you was good. You was good. You was living off that. I got 5 years. I got 10 years max. Now if you got 20 years, you got to find 20 more years of income. You're not going to find 20 years of more income working at your job.
But what they say is it's more powerful when partners reinvent themselves together. So if you guys decide like, all right, we're going to do this side hustle, you do it together. Yeah. Or like you run your businesses together, it tends to be more powerful. Now, does that mean you can't have your own thing? Absolutely, you can have your own thing. But what's one person versus two? You know what I mean? It's usually going to be a bit more, not stronger, but maybe more impactful and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's a few takeaways that we got from the article, and just tying it together of marriage being like a business, and not necessarily how we run it exactly. If you want more of a how we run it, you got to listen to that episode, and we'll link that below. But
yeah, on that last point, I think that's probably the most powerful thing. You are most powerful with your spouse when you are operating at dual capacity. Meaning one person's not on this other level or you're on this other level. No, you are at dual capacity. You are most powerful in your business, your relationship, your marriage, and you are both operating at your dual maximum capacity. And I'll give you an example like today. Like your to-do list, focus on everything we need to do for the household, the medical bills, the expenses, things like that.
Yeah.
My to-do list focus on the businesses and ways to create more income. We are both operating at our dual max capacities to make sure we can get through your list, get through my list, so that we can make sure that we are most powerful together. So that's my takeaway from that last part too. So,
but I still want to binge SVU sometime soon. So.
Yeah. Let's get you to watch some SVU.
That's probably not happening this week based on our calendar. But yeah, so
maybe watch some SVU tonight.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you are commenting, subscribing, sharing, liking, downloading. There's so much you can do wherever you're listening.
To support us, not just for yourself, but support us, man. We here every single week.
It helps us. We want to grow. We want to get sponsorships, and they ask for these numbers. Like, well, how many comments do you have? How many downloads do you have? How many people are sharing? Like, so these things help us to eventually be able to grow this podcast. If you like what you're hearing, just say something. Somebody wrote something in the comments that I said, oh, that can be a podcast episode. So, just share. And I think it was, I can't remember right now, but yes. If you want to hear something else, let us know. And thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate you guys being here.
Bye-bye.
This has been an episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite listening platform. And follow Anthony and Janilka on Instagram at The Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. Keep hustling, baby. Keep hustling, baby.
Get that money. Get that